Talk about health here frequently on the Closing Bell. So I wanted to bring in Kristen Field. She's the executive director at Friends of Prentice. They're a nonprofit organization that works with Northwestern Medicine Prentice Women's Hospital. And what they do is they work to fund the future of women's health care, and they provide funding for research that supports women and their families. Kristen, I want to thank you in advance for your time. You guys are doing great work. Is it fair to say that the knowledge that we have for women's health and wellness is lagging significantly when compared to men? And why is that?
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you for having me. It is lagging because, up until about 12 years ago, women did not even have to be included in medical research studies. So, any of our own ailments were only tested on men. So we're being prescribed things that were never tested, or research was just never being done. So there is a very large gap in research. And in fact, only a very small percentage of the National Institute of Health's research is spent on women's health. So really at Friends of Prentice, we look to close that gap.
Well, and that feels almost scarily recent for that to have just taken place. What was kind of the onus for that change to actually devote more resources and studies into whatnot into women's health?
Absolutely. So at Friends of Prentice, we actually pioneered a study for a Women's Research Health Institute at Northwestern itself. So it gave a lot of the seed funding for that. And now in Illinois, it's required to include women in those studies and in turn nationally. And as we know, when you think about throwing money at something, research is really what is going to move the needle, what is going to change communities and going to change outcomes. So we're really proud of the fact that, we kind of rang some of the alarm bells around that, but can be part of that, really incredible change that's happening.
Now, one of the other things that Friends of Prentice focuses on is funding research to help support women and families after a perinatal death. And that's an experience that I can't even begin to comprehend or fathom the impact that it has on those families.
Absolutely. Prentice is an amazing place, but, unfortunately for some people, their outcomes of bringing a child into this world, sometimes doesn't come to fruition, or unfortunately they lose a child that was just born or a couple days after that. And so at Friends of Prentice, we really believe in supporting the women after such a loss and in turn their families. And so we just 2 years ago started the Prentice Perinatal Loss Program to ensure that we had funds available to support women and families in their communities when they're dealing with such a loss.
Kristen Field is here. She's the executive director at Friends of Prentice. They're a nonprofit that helps to fund the future of women's health care, and they also fund research to support women and families. Kristen, I know you listed the study that you had done before, but do you have any other maybe specific examples of some of the work that Friends of Prentice has done to help fund and the impact that it's had?
Yes, absolutely. So from in the last 35 years, we have given away over $23 million to areas such as COVID-19 research, which is probably a most recent one, and that was looking at COVID-19 and its effects on pregnant women. And that research that we funded went to go, right initially out into the community on whether people should be being vaccinated, what care should be happening with pregnant women, should they be separated from children immediately. Additionally, some of our pioneering research in endometriosis, which affects 1 in 10 women, funding that we gave to one of our brilliant physicians at Northwestern really found the root causes of endometriosis. And so now when women are going in saying they're having all these problems and pain, they're not just turned away and looked at like, you're just being dramatic. There's actually reasons why they're having this pain. And we're looking at that. We're looking at disparities in care and mental health and really focusing not that women are just these avenues to have children, that women do so much more, that our health is very complex.
It's amazing work that you guys are doing over at Friends of Prentice. If people wanted to find out more, or even if they maybe want to donate to Friends of Prentice, where can they go?
Amazing. Yes. We need as many advocates for women's health. You see it in the news all the time now. You can go to friendsofprentice.org if you're interested in making a donation. We also are as only strong as a community who supports us and propels our mission forward, especially our incredible board of directors. So shout out to the 70 men and women who really support our mission.
That's Kristen Field, Executive Director at Friends of Prentice. Great things. Give them a check out, friendsofprentice.org for more information. Kristen, appreciate your time and for everything that you guys do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.